In this lecture, I will show you the process how we could use Blender and basic but fast mesh modeling to visualize a conceptual product family. In our case here, as you can see, an iMac and an iPad Pro, and the connecting elements are the stand. Technical details, ports, cameras, etc., all that will be left out because the goal here is more to make you aware of how we can start with one product and then from that create a copy and create a family of products. So let's get started with a new file. We want to set units to imperial and inches. Snapping we can set to vertex and bounding box, and we will start with a new cube. Press N. The X direction is 24, Y is 14, and Z is 0.3 inches. We have a scale factor, so we'll go and apply the scale. Very good. Now, this object I would like to rotate along the x-axis. I will go by 90 degree first. That looks okay. And what about 85? So it has a slight angle. Very good. So go to a front view. I go to move just global, so not local, and I just move the object up for the moment to somewhere. I don't know where yet because we haven't built the stand yet. While we are on this rectangle, now we can work on rounding the edges. Well, we know, okay, that's very easy. We simply go to edit mode, select all the correct edges. There we are. Give those a bevel weight of 1. If the sliding also is sometimes not as precise, sometimes it can happen then based on how you move the mouse, there might be a little bit of an incorrect number. Just type in the value. Then we go to modifier, add bevel, and the rounding is 0.5 inches. We can use 10 segments. That's good for our case. And for the type, we want to use weight. So only the weighted edges are rounded. Back to object mode, right click, shade smooth, and Autosmooth. Okay, now that doesn't look too bad. Okay. Now let's make the stand. For the stand, we go to this view. The 3D cursor is still down there. That's excellent. Add mesh plane. Now the X direction I will set to 8 inches and the Y direction I will set to 18 inches. And then we'll go ahead and apply the scale. Let's go into edit mode, select this edge, and we will turn on our length display. So this is 8. I would like this to be down to 4 inches. So I can scale this down until I see 4 inches. 4 inches is actually half of 8 inches, so I can type in 0.5 and press enter. So the scaling works actually percentage-wise. If I have 8 inches and I say scale and then type in 2, then it multiplies it by 2. If I scale, so press S and press 1, I scale it by a factor of 1. It stays the same. If I scale it by 0.5, I halve it. If I scale this by 0, I make it, well, scale it down to 0. Just a little trick. So because I was 8 inches, to scale it exactly to 4, I was S 0.05, enter. Very good. Now this element I would like to bend. To bend it, I need to have somewhere here an edge. And the edge should be at 8 inches away from here. So Control R. Here now I can click and then I drag it, but I don't have actually a measurement here for the length. So we do Control R one more time. Click and escape. Now we see this is 7.46 inches. Select the two edges here one more time. And we have the edge slide command. And we can slide it, and then you see how the numbers are updating. There, 8 inches. If you don't want to use the command, we can actually, well, we cannot use G, no? Because you see G deforms the mesh, but when you type in GG, so twice, you switch from move to slide. And then this is a very easy way, holding shift, and then we can try to, if it works, GG. So you know, there, maybe zoom in a little bit more, GG, hold shift. Yeah, and it doesn't want to go right to 8 where I had it. There, very good. And this is 10. Very nice. So these two lines we don't need anymore. This was just a measurement helper, X and dissolve edges. Don't delete. Delete removes everything. Dissolves just takes them out. So there we have also one edge back. This face we would like to rotate by 70 degrees. So we know this is actually a very easy task. We select this edge. We would like to rotate around this edge. This should be our rotation center. So we set our transform pivot to active element. Go to rotate. In this case here, it's the x-axis by 70 degrees. And minus, well, okay, what's going on? Well, actually I set by 70 degrees, which is not correct. We want this to be 70 degrees. So let's rotate this first to 90. Very good. So when the angle here in between should be 70, currently this is 90. That's perpendicular. That means 90 minus 30 is 70. So, no, 90 minus 20. So we have to rotate this 20 more degrees. So we do this one more time. Okay, so is this actually correct? We can very easily go to a side view, then go to the measurement, click and drag, one to there, one to there. I do not snap, I just want to see how this works. Yeah, so 70. That's correct. Very good. Back to tweak. There. This now we can move back and under our iMac. Maybe there. I also can see that this has to go down more. So I line up kind of like the tip here with the center of my iMac. Okay. This can go back a little bit more. So let's give this a material thickness. We will use for thickness 5 millimeters and complex. Very good. The direction is good. The point here I would like to be rounded, and this edge here I would like to be rounded. So that means I will give this a bevel modifier, set this to vertex. You see all these points here are rounded, also there and there. That's not what I want. I want just these 2 points rounded, and then I also want a thickness. So that means, well, this one has to go above the solidify modifier. Now there you see how all points are rounded and then it gets the thickness. But I only want these 2 points. Okay, we have to paint these 2 points. So you and you get a value. And then here we set this to weight for the value 0.5 of an inch. This is maybe too small. 1 inch, that looks good. 10. Yeah, nice. Okay, so you see the other edges don't actually get any rounding. Since we're in edit mode, we also see that the mesh for the solidify goes down. That is not good. We want this to go up. So here we have an offset. We move it to the inside. And you know, here, this edge, I would like to be rounded. So I will go to edge select, select the edge, and give then this edge a weight value, and add another bevel. Weight 2 inches. And also here, not the result I'm looking for. Well, that's because this is after the solidify. Also here, drag this in front. Very good. Cool. There we are. Yeah, that starts to look pretty nice. Here on top, we want to go a little bit to the left. So we select this edge. This is oriented along the y-axis. So E for extrude and Y. And then we move this by 1 inch and negative, so it goes the correct direction. Very good. This is a 2-inch bevel. This is only a 1-inch long line. I would like this edge to be rounded. I can't bevel this with 1 because the rounding would be too big. If I set this to 0.5, let's go and take a look at, so this is 1. You see, we might not even really see everything correctly. So hold on. We go to here, geometry and clamp overlap. Clamp overlap, what does this mean? Basically, this means when there is a bad result happening, the software prevents you from rounding more. So we are actually at 0.5, and you see now with 1, this edge would need to be here, but it's not there. So the software tries to simply prevent you from making bad geometry, but also pay attention to at the bottom how, kind of like when we add a way to here, this one shrinks. So it tries to bevel this out. So what we will do here is 0.5. That seems to work well. Yeah. Okay, so 0.5. Now this is nice. Or we could go 0.25, so we make this a little bit smaller, and there we see now we have a smaller strip that's horizontal. Okay, very nice. Let's go to object mode, right click and shade smooth. We will add an auto smooth to it. There we are, that's pretty good. Let's go to a side view. So we can see that this piece is inside the body for the iMac. That's totally fine. Here at the back, let's create an opening so this aluminum stand is not so big and heavy. We will go to add cube and then X. We go 2 inches, Z 1 inch, and Y. Let's try out 6 inches. Okay. Then we can move this one to here via G and then rotate it. And in our case here, you see this is just rotated along x-axis by not 70, hold on, minus 70. There. Okay, very good. Because we have 70 degree inside the stand, this then also only needs to be rotated 70 degrees. Very easy. Cool. We have a scale factor. Actually, we will not apply the scale. I will show one more time what happens when we do not adjust the scale factor when we add a bevel modifier. So I select each edge here. There we are. Give this a weight. Go to here. Add the bevel modifier, 0.25 of an inch, 10 segments along weighted weighted edges. You see there's nothing we can see. It is actually there, it's just scaled. And apply scale. Yeah, that looks better. What about 0.5? This is pretty good. Right click, shade smooth, and auto smooth. And to be able to see our hole better, we will go to the object properties, go to viewport display, and then tell the software display this object only as a wireframe. There we are. Let's give everything some names. We call this iMac stand. This is iMac. And this then is iMac stand opening. Very good. Now we can select this, go to Boolean and exact difference, select this object. There we are. Pretty cool. Now to be a little bit more precise with the position, we can try this out. I select this object here and go into edit mode via tab, select the two edges, yeah, Shift S, cursor to selected. You see it put the cursor right at this center here. Very good. So that's a geometrical center. And this one here, I now select in object mode, Shift S, and say selection to the cursor. So now, because of this being very thick, so 1 inch, it perfectly intersects my part, so it does not matter that this is a little bit left or a little bit right. But what's important is that the center point along the diagonal is actually centered, and also here horizontally this is perfectly centered. So geometry wise, this is nice and cleanly proportioned. And then we can call this iMac, and that's the end of part 1.